Good afternoon and welcome back everyone. I'm Cat at Outdoor Equipment Co. here in Houghton Lake, and today we're going to be talking a little bit about our pontoon boats. So here we have our Tahoe, and here's one of our competitors. A couple of things to point out, most people notice almost right away, is the skeleton. We don't see the structural bones on this one, which is really nice. It kind of gives it that beautiful cosmetic look that you would see on a car, right? You don't see all the structural pieces on a vehicle. Over here, you see all the structure. A lot of the times we think of this as, well, it's really well built, and it is, but it's also very, very difficult to clean. So that's one of the features that the Tahoe brings to the industry. Another thing that they have is they have a small gap underneath of here, underneath all of their framework, all the way around the boat. This is to help with the ventilation in all of the storage compartments, which we get into that a little bit more here in a minute. A couple other things. Solid extruded aluminum all the way down. It's one piece. It meets up at our corner bolts. So if in the event, if you were to have any type of damage done up here, we're not replacing the whole floor. We don't have to. We can just remove a lot of the paneling here and sectionize it. A couple other things about the Tahoe boat that's really impressive is the way they design their tunes. So this is unlike anybody else's that's in the market. The fins here are up as high as they can be on the physical top of the tune. This is to help with the flowing of the boat itself. Now, if you notice over here at the competitors, they've got the fin that's welded on, and you can see it's not really structural. This can easily be damaged, bent, or even broken if you're docked up and you've got a lot of waves in the lake that you're on. However, this is a complete mold, one piece, all the way intact on top of the tune. So there's no chances of that getting damaged. And feel how flexible that is. They've actually got multiple gauge material folded and folded and folded over to make that as strong as it is. Another thing about these boats is underneath of here, we've got this nice beauty ring. This has actually been back welded, so you don't see any physical welds here on this side of it. Underneath, the full structure, instead of being spaced out like a lot of the other competitors do. This is to cut cost. Tahoe's not looking to cut cost. They want to show you a great product, and they want you to understand that they're building it to the quality it needs to be. With these boats being bounced around on lakes after lakes, there's a lot of flexing and a lot of twisting. And if you don't have the right amount of supports underneath there holding your boat to your tunes, what do you think is going to happen? So let's get more into the cosmetics. Beautiful, nice graph designs, very nice decals. They've got a 3/4 inch thick pressurized marine board underneath, which most of the manufacturers do use. Also, another key point, we've got 4 latches, 2 in the front, 2 in the rear. These are actually built into the structure, which means this is how they pick up their boats and move them from one location to another throughout their entire shop of the process of production. Another thing to know about the structure is the cross members underneath the Tahoes actually go the full length in between one rub rail to the next. So you don't have to worry about bumping up into something and bending or flexing that aluminum rub rail. You've got plenty of support behind there to be able to feel confident that there's not going to be any damage done by a light bump into a dock. Now, as we get into the floor plans, I'm going to step up into one and just kind of open it up and show you how the ventilation systems work on these. Because we've seen underneath, now we get to see inside. There's no plastic tubs, nothing that can hold water, and like I had mentioned, that gap underneath the floor, that's to help allow that airflow. And throughout here on the speaker section, you've got tons of other airflow design all built in. And one thing that's really great about Tahoe is most companies like to say they're made in the USA. Tahoe says we can do one better. We manufacture them here. So every piece and part outside of the electronics and your motor are all built right here in Alma, Michigan, which is great because that means if you call them up and say, hey, I've got a tear in my upholstery, they will hand make a new one and have that delivered. You don't have to wait for this thing to get shipped overseas, and we know how timely that can be and how expensive, right? The next thing is all of the storage space. So much storage space going on. It's incredible. They also provide an aluminum structure underneath all of their seats. Most of the other places don't do this. The next best thing about Tahoe is they've also created what we call the suspension seat. So this allows your ride to be a lot smoother. If you feel right here, you can actually feel the section right here is hollow. That's not because they decided to cheap out and not run board all the way across. They've actually got a trampoline material built into this, so that way when you're sitting on it, you're actually getting more of a cushy, comfortable ride. I don't know about you, but I've been on boat rides where the seats just feel so stiff. After about an hour and a half, my butt goes numb. Nobody wants that. You want to be out here and enjoy your time on the boat, and this is what Tahoe brings to you. Outside of that, Tahoe also offers a ton of selections when it comes to color schemes. I believe 11, maybe 12 different color schemes that they can choose from on any of their brands. Another great thing is, it doesn't matter if you're picking out the entry level or you're picking out their Excalibur. All of their processes are built and maintained throughout every single build. So the frame and chassis work on your Aura is going to be the same as your Excalibur. They don't cut any corners when it comes to that. Just because it's an entry level unit does not mean that it's built by entry level production workers. On another note, I actually just visited their shop and it is phenomenal the way they put things together. There's over 80 pictures that are taken of each boat as they go through every single part of the process. So they're dialed in on knowing that their quality is there. They know exactly what type of materials to use to enhance the look and also enhance the feel of that comfort in your ride. Thanks again for watching. Stay tuned for the next one. I'll probably be back in a couple of days.